Alright, what is up guys? Action Figure Addict 112 here, and we are going to be taking a look at the Madoka Yuki figure from Kotobukiya. Now, I'm more familiar with Kotobukiya because they do a variety of statues from different licenses. And sometimes they'll do like waifu versions of certain characters, like they've done like a waifu version of like Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees and Leatherface. And they also do, Marvel, DC, stuff like that. So people are more familiar with them from their statues. Now, I didn't know Kotobukiya actually made model kits, and these are relatively new kits, as I did some research before ordering her. And it seems like they started doing these schoolgirl model kits around, I think 2017 is when they showed them, but they didn't start going into production until I want to say this year is when they first started putting them out. So Miss Madoka here is actually the first of the schoolgirl model kits, because she came out this year actually. So she is relatively new. She came out January of this year, I believe. Now, she's not the only schoolgirl that they've done in this line. They've done some other versions. They've done like a color swap of her where she has pink hair. And I'm thinking about getting that one because I really like the pink on her hair. And I have one of them pre-ordered. And that one doesn't come out until October of this year. But besides the schoolgirls, they actually have little accessory kits that you can put together. Like they have a table and a set of chairs, and little cups of boba drinks that the girls can hold. They have a little traveling kit where it has like a selfie stick and a cell phone and a suitcase, and then there's one that's like a desk that you put together. It's really cool that they're diving really deep into these. I think it's pretty cool because I haven't really seen any other companies really doing this. It's more of Gundam related is usually the more common kits that you see, and Dragon Ball kits and stuff like that, but you don't really see the schoolgirl kits. So it's kind of cool that Kotobukiya decided to venture out into here. Now, these kits are slightly controversial. That's why I haven't really seen a lot of reviews on YouTube of these, because of certain accessories that she comes with, which I'm going to talk about. Yeah, so this kit altogether took me about 4 hours to put together. When I sat, it was 3 hours, and then I took a break from it because the shit was like giving me a headache, and then I hopped on it the next day and finished it. So be aware of that if you're jumping into this and this is your first model kit. It's going to take you quite a bit of time to put her together. I mean, in terms of her parts, all of her parts run on about 21 runners. And that's consisting of extremely large runners all the way down to super teeny tiny runners. So altogether, it's about 21 runners that you're going to be cutting pieces off of and shaving flash off of and sanding them down. So if you're one of those people that take their time with model kits, then you're going to really enjoy putting her together, because the final product is definitely worth the pain in the ass of the 4 hours that it takes to put her together. And from one of the few reviews that I was able to find on her, that individual also said that it took him about 4 hours to put her together. So that is about what you're looking at in terms of how long it's going to take to put her together. So anyway, I also promised a friend that I would sit down and review her. So that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm going to be reviewing her just like a normal figure, since she is technically a normal figure, of import quality. Only difference is I had to put her together piece by piece instead of just taking her out the box and she's good to go. So with that being said, we're going to look at paint, sculpt, accessories, articulation, how she scales next to a few different figures, because she is a different scale than I'm used to collecting, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So with that being said, let's take a look at Miss Madoka Yuki, aka Mini Cat. Okay, so we're going to focus on Madoka's paint and her sculpt now. I'm sorry that it keeps focusing on Captain Marvel back there talking to Chunners, but I just wanted something in the background so that it didn't look too boring. So in terms of her paint, there really isn't any paint on this model kit. It's not like a Gundam where, you know, you have to go in with Gundam markers and do your panel lining and stuff. It's not really necessary with this figure. You can go in and add extra details like the buttons if you wanted to paint that stuff, but it's not really necessary. It doesn't really like dumb down the figure at all. Now what I'm gonna do later is I'm gonna paint the rest of the hair clips on the 2 extra heads that you get, so that she has the little pink clips, because technically it should be the top clip should be pink and the bottom one should be green, but I just painted both of them pink because that's what I wanted to do. So, but yeah, you could totally paint them. They do look really good. But yeah, all 4 faces that you get all have the decals applied, so they're like water slide decals. You don't have to peel them off and dip them in water or anything like that. Now when I get into the accessories, I'll talk about a couple of her accessories where you may have to do that. But I think it looks really good, and they actually painted her teeth really nice too. This is what I mean by she may be a model kit, but she's on like import quality. You know what I mean? Like if you have any Figma figures or you have Figure Arts figures, she's gonna look like she fits in with those figures. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Excuse me. And then right here, the trimming on the top here, that is all pre-applied too, so you don't have to apply any of that, which is fantastic because that would be such a pain in the ass if you had to do water slides for those, but luckily you don't, so I'm happy about that. And that's pretty much all for paint. So, you know, if this is your first model kit, there's not really a lot that you have to do. And yeah, it's pretty nice. Now in terms of the sculpting, I'm fairly impressed. Now I know what Kotobukiya is capable of in terms of sculpting, because again, they're a company that mainly focuses on statues. So whenever you have, they also do model kits too. They do the frame arms girls, where they're like the kind of waifus and Gundam armor and stuff like that. So they're pretty capable of sculpting, but you know, in terms of something that's not out there like that, and it's just like, you know, a regular average Japanese schoolgirl, I think this looks really nice. I'm fairly impressed. Like, you have wrinkle detailing in there that's sculpted in there. You have like that little kind of split where there's no button at the bottom of the sweater. You have the skirt that's all detailed too, where it has like the linings and the shading in there. You have her kind of ankle high socks here, which these were kind of a pain in the ass to do. If you do end up getting this kit, please be careful with trying to do these, because if you don't, you're gonna end up getting one like that where it's not gonna fit. And I do know that in some areas it kind of looks like shit. I apologize. All I had was my cutters, and all I had was an X-Acto knife. So my hobby kit was supposed to come the day that she came, but Amazon delivered it to the wrong apartment, and so someone was kind enough to drop the package off at my door with a nice note. So thank you to whoever that person was for being a kind citizen and returning that, because Amazon couldn't have been fucked to actually deliver my shit properly. But yeah, and then she's got like these little kind of Japanese schoolgirl shoes, which are cool. These are like the Thanksgiving 2s. These are the Pilgrim 6s going on here with these shoes. Good God, girl, you need to get yourself some good shoes. What are those? But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it for her paint and her sculpt. So, also something I want to mention is with all three of the hair sculpts, her hair looks phenomenal. And yeah, there are multiple small pieces that are built up, and to build up her hair. And whenever I get into the articulation, I'm going to show you that. But yeah, pretty cool stuff for Miss Madoka Yuki, aka Mini Cat. So, with that being said, though, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at her accessories now. Okay, so in terms of her accessories, this is everything that she comes with. She comes with quite a bit of accessories. So all of these you do have to build, and they all come on individual sprues, so it's pretty cool. So like I said, you get 2 extra heads in case you're not feeling the long hair. You have a head that has pigtails on it, and you have one that has the ponytail. You have multiple different hands that you can switch out with her. You have her school bag, and then you have this piece here. And then you also get this as well, which I want to talk about this first because some people might be a little bit confused. So she also comes with 4 extra faceplates here. You'll see that there is something on this one. What the hell is that? Okay. So as you can see, they're pretty much like the face that they're like this face here, but there's no paint or anything on them because they give you a whole sheet of water slide decals. So you get to pick, the face that you want and stuff like that. And then these up here, these are for her phone case, and I'm not quite sure what these are for. I'll have to check the instructions again. But yeah, you get a lot of different expressions going on. So, in case you're not feeling the 4 heads that she comes with, you can also just use these, which is pretty cool. These are pretty easy to do. All you have to do is just cut out the eyes and dip them in water, still on the sheet, dip them in water, peel them off with tweezers, and just lay them on the eyes, and you should be good. So yeah, I wanted to point that out. And then also something to do with her cell phone. You get 2 different cell phones. One is in like a hard kind of case, like a protective case, and then one is just kind of plain the way that it is. So you have 2 different versions. I have one already painted up there, but this is what it looks like. It does come in pink. So if you wanted to go all out and paint this like I did, you can do that. So it is an iPhone. So if you want like an extra cell phone accessory or something like that for your figures, you can do that. And then yeah, that's pretty much that. So we'll talk about her heads here first. So you do get this head. Now this is the pigtail head. This is how they wanted you to put together the figures, or at least the heads for this for Miss Madoka here. So they wanted like this face on this body, they wanted this faceplate on this head, and then for this one here they wanted like the kind of pissed off face on this one. The scrunchie is movable, so you do get 2 of these as well. So you get an extra one in case this one breaks or you end up losing it by accident. You do have that, and it's really nicely detailed. And the hairs on ball joints, so you can like move it around like that. And then for the pigtail one, you can move them around like this. So you get posability, which is weird because, you know, with a model kit, you wouldn't think, why would you get posability with a model kit? It's a model kit. Like, you're just supposed to build it, and then you're just supposed to sit it on a shelf, and that's that. Well, Kotobukiya decided to go against that and just, yeah, gave us these. So, like, if you wanted her, like running or something like that, and her hair is kind of in a, you know, you can do that. Just make sure that when you move these, be careful not to make them go too extreme because they'll pop out, but you can easily pop them back in because they're on ball joints. But yeah, this is like kind of her shocked face, surprised face, embarrassed face. This one here is kind of her sad face, which I really like the way that looks. And then you also have, like I said, the pissed off face. So you get those, and then you also get 4 other faces that you can paint up yourself if you want to go that route. Now in terms of her hands, she comes with a variety of hands here. So you get, let me focus back in here. Okay, there we go. So you get this set of hands here, which these are very specific hands. As you can see, they have a peg hole in them. These are for whenever the boba set comes out. I think that should be coming out, I think, in the next week or something like that. That's what these peg holes are for. They're basically meant for you to, if I can get it to focus on her hand instead of focusing on her legs. Can we not focus on her legs? Can we focus on her hand here, please? Okay. So yeah, you can see the little peg right there. So the boba has like a little peg, and basically all the little anime girls all the little Japanese schoolgirls here, they can essentially just, yeah, hold the boba, and some of the other little accessory kits they're coming out with, they can do that. So that's what those hands are for. You get a set of these hands. These are like your cell phone holding hands, is what these are for. These are more of your school bag hands. You get a set of like waving hands or like gesturing hands there. You get a set of peace sign hands. As you can see, I have her with it right there. And then you get a set of these hands, which I don't think... Okay, well, she does have another set of this hand, so I'm gonna have to look around. But it's basically she's grabbing her sweater, is what she's doing. So if you wanted her like sitting down, like grabbing her sweater for whatever reason, because she's cold or something like that, you can do that. And yeah, it works out. So in case you wanted to go that route, you can do that. So you do get quite a bit of hands. You do get some extra, you get 4 of these extra wrist pegs here in case you accidentally break one, you need to replace it. Again, I don't know why it's not wanting to focus, but I guess I'm gonna just have to aim my camera down here so that we can take a look at that. Okay, so you can see right there. So these are for just in case you need to replace the wrist peg there. So you have that. Now we're going to talk about this, which is kind of controversial to some people, and from what I've seen has made some people kind of like turned off from these kits. So basically, you do get, oh, that's right. So you do get 3 different skirts as well. You get this kind of flat skirt there, you get this one here where it's moving, and then you get the one for this set of legs. So this set of legs is essentially meant for you to be able to sit her down. So what you do is you just pop her torso apart here, and I'll just lay that right there. And she just dropped her cell phone. And okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so then you just essentially just pop that in there, and then you just not do that. Then you just pop the legs off, and you can just pop them back in here. Make sure I put the right foot on. Okay. And then you just pop these in, and she's able to actually sit. So her legs are not movable. They're movable from the knee down, but like she's essentially stuck sitting like this. So if you wanted to, I don't know if I have a chair. Hang on. Let me grab a chair real quick, because I know I have a chair around here that I can use with her. Let me see. Best part about collecting wrestling figures is that you'll always have chairs. So that's a fucking plus. Alright, there we go. Found me a chair. Okay. So, if you wanted her to sit in a chair, she can sit in the chair perfectly. So, yeah, why she'd be sitting in this gigantic wrestling chair, I don't know, but again, if you want to use her for pictures, you totally can do that. It's up to you, but I think that's pretty cool. Now, the reason why people are over here getting all worked up over nothing is because when you put her together, you have to build her panties in 2 different states, which I don't understand why you guys are getting worked up about this. Like, you act like this is some blasphemy shit. Like, this is a model kit, okay? It's a model kit, guys. Relax, you know. Girls wear panties. It's natural. Like, relax. How about don't get your panties up in a bunch because of that, okay? Like, if it bothers you so much, either don't buy the model kit or just don't look at it. It's fine. But yeah, she does have 2 different sets of them, and when you're building the model kit, it'll tell you which ones go with which. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then, like I said, she comes with her cell phone, which she dropped around here somewhere, which I'm gonna have to look for it real quick, because here it is. So this is the cell phone that she came with. I did paint it myself, so it may not be the best looking, but it's better than it just being pink. So as you can see, it's the one with the hardcover case. Can we not focus on Captain Marvel? We've already done that. Okay, well, alright, I'm gonna just have to aim this camera down again in order to do this. Okay, there we go. So this is what the phone case looks like. I know it's not the best paint job. I know. However, it just gets the point across that you can do this if you want. I painted the screen black, and then painted the back pink, and then painted the little camera screen. So, yeah, if you have any Gundam markers or anything like that, you can pretty much use it for that. Just saves you some time. But yeah, that's what her phone looks like, and she can hold it perfectly, as you saw in the beginning. So there's that. So with that being said, I'm going to pop her regular legs back on, and then we'll get into her articulation. Okay, also real quick, I forgot to mention her school bag, since this is the most important accessory for her. So she does come with a school bag. This is put together by 2 pieces. You just push these 2 pieces together, and then you just slide the straps in, and then she can hold it. She could hold it around her shoulder and her hand. So pretty cool. If you wanted to go all out and like add little keychains and stuff to it, like a regular Japanese schoolgirl bag, you can do that too. I probably will at some point if I get bored enough. I'll probably do that. But anyway, we're gonna get into her articulation. So this figure is actually pretty impressive in terms of articulation. So in terms of articulation, she can look down this much. She can look all the way up this much. She can move her head to the left, to the right. She's got a whole bunch of movement up there. She's got some sass, so that's pretty good. In terms of her hair here, it's actually articulated, so I don't know if you can see that, but her hair is actually articulated, so you know, if you're into the toytography game, this is going to be perfect because you can get her hair moving all different kinds of ways, which is awesome. In terms of her arms can rotate 360. Her hair is going to block it though, so you may need to like move her hair and then rotate it. Her arms can go all the way up this much. They can go all the way down to her sides, and she has kind of what Figma has. She has like a drop down joint in her arm, which is pretty impressive too. So if you wanted it to sit flush like that, you can. And then if you wanted to like bring it down and move it around and stuff, you can do that too, which is awesome. This is what I mean by import quality. You get a elbow rotation, you get a 90-degree bend in her arm. You do get a ball joint in her wrist, and depending on how you move her wrist, so you can get side to side, and if you turn you can get up and down. But because of the way that this is set up, the cuff is going to block most of that articulation, so you're not going to really be getting super articulated with it. In terms of her ab crunch, she can move forward this much, she can move back this much, which is pretty impressive. She can move side to side, she can get a little bit of movement in there, so it's good. Let me straighten her back up there. In terms of leg movement, she can move her legs forward this much, move her leg back that much. She can do this. Well, can she do the splits? Oh, she can. Okay, she can do the splits, but again, because this is hard plastic and not soft goods, it's not going to really do much. You do get a knee rotation, you get a 90-degree bend in the knee, you get a rotation up here, and then you also get movement back there for her foot. She can move her foot forward that much, and you get ankle rocker in there. So overall, I'm very fucking impressed with this figure for a model kit. I don't think I've ever had a model kit like her before. Like, because I have built some that were like, you know, you're building like a character or something, because I can't remember what company it was, but I think Mattel had like model kits that you could build like some of the Halo figures. And I had some of those and they were kind of shitty quality. However, this is not shitty quality. So in terms of how she scales though, I'm gonna compare her to a few different figures. So here's how she scales next to the Figma SAO Shinon. And I will be doing a review of her very soon. This is the legit Shinon. This is not the bootleg. This is the real deal. Whenever I get to her review, I will tell you how I managed to do that shit. So that's how she scales with her. In terms of a figuarts, let me grab Chunners here real quick. There you go. So there's Chunners, and put her back there because she was in the middle of a conversation with Captain Marvel. Probably about something interesting. I don't really know. So here is how she scales next to the Reveltech Amazing Yamaguchi Harley. So there's that, and let me go grab my Mafex Gwenpool real quick, and I will compare her to Miss Madoka. And here she is next to one of my favorite figures, the Mafex Unbelievable Gwenpool. So yeah, actually, you know what? Hang on, let me grab like one more kind of kawaii looking character. If I can get her up here real quick. There we go. And here's how she scales next to. This is how she scales next to the Figma Ochako Uraka, right there for my hero. So let me move her out of the way. And I do still need to review her too, because she is kind of adorable. Adorable ass face. But yeah, that is essentially it. Now you'll notice she stands taller than most of the figures that I showed you. That's because she is 1/10 scale, so she's not 1/12 scale like some of the other figures that I have. She is 1/10 scale, so she's kind of in her own scale. However, depending on certain figures, she will scale with 1/12 scale figures. Like you saw with Gwenpool, she kind of stands at the same height, and with Chunner, she kind of stands at the same height, but it's a 1/10 scale figure, so when it comes to trying to fit her in with certain accessories, it's not going to work because she's kind of in her own scale, just like the rest of the girls are kind of in their own scale. So you're going to kind of have to work around that. But I will say, if you are looking for like something different that's not Gundam, or if you're not into like Gundam kits, you're not into like, you know, whatever other kits are out there on the market, and you're looking for something like this, I recommend it personally. Alright, the kits are... She ran me, I think, 60 or 65 for the kit, so you're going to be dealing with that. However, I feel like it's worth it. It's one of those cases where it's going to take you a couple of hours to put her together, especially if you take your time and you make sure that you file the parts down to clean up the flash and all that stuff. It's going to be worth it in the end because she just looks amazing, and the fact that I can get her posed up with like Gwenpool and stuff, and that I can change out her faces and her hands and stuff like that, it's just really cool. So I really like the way that she turned out. So for me, I recommend her. So I recommend her, and there is a variation of her out where she's in her schoolgirl or her winter uniform, but she has pink hair instead of this brown hair. I will be picking up the pink-haired one just because she looks different enough from this release that I could say that it's a different figure. But yeah, there's a lot of these kits that are coming out between now and October, like the winter time of this year, and then they showed a couple more kits are coming out now. My thing is with Kotobukiya, I kind of want some variation between these schoolgirls because I know that they are all supposed to look kawaii, and they're all supposed to, you know, have, you know, their, you know, anime faces and stuff like that, and their pink hair clips and shit, but like, can I get some variation? Can I get me a schoolgirl model kit with her with some like chucks, like some fishnets, some something? Like, can I get something different? Because I know not all Japanese schoolgirls are like that. Like, some of them are rocking some chucks, some of them are rocking some different shit. That way, if I get invested in these kits and I line them all up, they don't all look the same. I want some variation. So if I can get some variation with these kits like that, like give me, you know, like give me like a Japanese schoolgirl with like some chucks, and, you know, maybe like give me one with like a beanie or something like that, then I'll be happy, and I'll keep investing in these kits and setting aside the time to put them together because they are worth it. It's just whenever you're putting these together, you know, they're just kind of, you know, they just kind of all are going to end up looking the same. And I get that's the point of the Japanese schoolgirls, but like, if you look at real Japanese schoolgirls, they have some variation to them. Like, their school bags have different chains. Some of them are, you know, have some different type of style going on with them, you know, in terms of appearance and, you know, hair color and stuff like that. They have some differences. So if we can get some more differences with this line, I would be very much happy with it. Or if Kotobukiya wants to start a whole line of like emo Japanese girls, I will buy that shit. For real. I'll put them together. I'll move some money aside. I'll move some money around so that I can get that, because that would be nice. So anyway, that is pretty much it for me. Thank you very much for watching and the support. I know it's been a while since I've sat down and done a review, but I'm getting back on the grind. For all the new subscribers that subscribe, thank you very much. That means a lot. I know, I'm a very small channel, but I do put my dedication into my videos, and I do appreciate that very much. And I will continue to keep putting up content. So, with that being said, I do have some figures that I did just pick up that I got in mail. I got some Figma Overwatch stuff I need to cover. I have some wrestling figures I need to cover. I have, I have that stuff. I still have to review Mighty Action X. So, yeah, I have quite a bit to catching up to do. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you again, and Action Figure Addict 112 out.